All right, y'all haven't been here in a way while. There's so many topics I need to come on here and talk about. I'm not going to be here long because my tooth hurt. I had my tooth pulled at it 3 days ago and it still hurts. Never felt this pain like this before. So, and plus I didn't prepare the document stuff that I wanted to prepare, but I just want to put this bug in you because, in my travels, travels, was my discussions of just trying to with various people of different mindsets. Some people tend to be under the illusion that look at AI as, oh, it's just some machine as if it can be destroyed. I'm going to be jumping all over the place, but I'll just tell you this: there's a reason why there's force. They're already putting the brain, if you will be in space. Okay. Um, this brain will be able to. That's why I want to get the grid together, the 5G and 6G. They'll just keep going up anyway, but um, because the brain will be in space, you won't be able to destroy it. And once everything, the Internet of Things, once everything is connected to it, they already have like military, certain things within the military that's connected to it, functionalities, which is right out of the movies, right? Terminator. So they have that sort of stuff already. They're linking the end goal, I guess you would say, is to link everything to a hive mind. AI will be self-aware within my lifetime if I live to be old. So within the next 10 to 20 years, they're saying, like, they tell us, 2040, 2045. But if you go by the pattern of history, and when it comes to new findings and things that they work on in technology, before it's even introduced to the public, they've already had it or worked on it for at least a decade. Just like the internet. The internet used to be a government military application for since its inception. I mean, what was it, the 70s or something like that. So just think of all that time that they, from creation to when we first had dial up and stuff like that. So, and they played with it and then acted like it didn't exist. And then boom, oh, look at this thing. And, and then once everybody's cool with it and calm with it and everybody's used to it, and they go back, then you find out, oh yeah, by the way, this was some type of black ops project or whatever. Um, so to say that, reason why I said that is to say that you never know. They're saying 2045. It could easily be 2030. You just go 10 years earlier than whatever they're saying. Because you just can't believe what is being said to you. You can't take it just historically and from the things that, even you can go into history, you can just go into things, everyday things. Some things, obviously, I can make sense that they won't tell us about, don't want to cause panic and things like that. Some stuff is nefarious and they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And so they keep that and they lie about that as well. But you just can't trust that. So that out of the way, even have like the pro. What's that? It's a game that they beat. It has already beaten the. What I want to say, or it's some ancient Asian. I want to say either Chinese or Japanese game. Is black with these black and white balls and these squares. Who are I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just all over the place. Like I said, my I have a headache. A lot of things have happened literally in a like 2-week period. But so I have a lot of stuff on my mind. But God, the name just keeps popping up. Anyway, so but it beat the world's best person. Okay, technology and information is quadrupling every year, every 6 months. Now I think it's sooner than that. So They're definitely going to have this thing. They're pushing towards an end game where everything is saturated. It's going to be Internet of Things. You're not, the internet's going to go away because the internet's going to be in you. Okay. They're talking about neural net. They're talking about TED Talks to where no one owns anything. Picture a world of no one owns anything. You go, you have a house, apartment, you have. It's not yours. You rent it. Say you sleep there during the night and you work during the day. Well, during the day when you're not there, someone else that occupies that. And they've given us cues in a lot of the movies. People like think that movies are just entertainment, but a lot of the movies that they have, a lot of movies they have, whether it's like police movies, military, or something. If they have scenes about police or military, they actually have people who work in those fields or have worked in those fields to be someone that gives advice on how to do those things, or like how to, what would really happen. And like, say if it's some type of detective movie, what things that they would really do. And it would kind of, you know, so a lot of times they are telling us, you can go back to Star Trek. There's a lot of things within Star Trek that we have now. We have iPads, we have all types of things, that cell phones, all types of things that so they tell us in a lot of the movies what they're trying to do and what's going to be the end game. So, and I know for Americans, we don't pay attention to a lot of things. They've already been playing with this stuff, like um, um, a city that is totally wired. I forgot the name. It's a coined the term for it. The end game is for everything to be interconnected. You know, to this hive mind, okay, this supercomputer, which they have a church, by the way, now for, okay, this AI God, it's a God, there's a church now. People praise the AI God now. There is, you look it up, yes. So you're gonna have, with the privacy is going away, totally going away. There's even some bills that is passed now where they can actually now, the CIA, FBI can legally, because they've been doing it anyway, can go into your emails and things like that. But they've already been breaching our privacy for many years anyway. It's just now that they're trying to do it. They're using this epidemic to pass some things. And just, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you are. It's about power and oligarchies and things like that. It has nothing to do with red or blue or conservative or liberal. When it all boils down to it, for the poor people, that's on the lower class people, the 95%, that's probably, that it matters to us. And that's the game that they play with us. But to them, it's not about that. It really isn't. It's the game that they play on us to kind of get what they need and keep things divided. But mankind, should not have power, because once they have power, they have that taste of power. They don't want to lose that power, and then they get kind of paranoid. Just like you've heard of rulers and lords of ancient time of the past. Some of them get kind of crazy and kooky, and they think people are trying to plot against them, and so they're tying up and they're burning people at the stake and accusing people of things. So think of that now. You have power people, families and governments that are in power. Now they want it to where it's total and utter control they have. Okay. You're gonna have a social credit system. Okay. Where that's coming here. That's coming here. It's in China. It's a form of it. It's coming here as well. There's some things that they already kind of do in that respect, where there is already like a, where they look at your um what you post and things like that, and you have a, like, to police and this is going to come out. This is all going to come out eventually, where you color coded and put it in certain, the color code is a certain category. But just picture um, everything intertwined. That's why they want the 5G up, because they need everything fast. Need everything is a drop of a hat. And I've been saying this for a long time. Just picture, you walk outside and literally any camera hits you. Once one camera hits you, it automatically can read everything about you, your history. That connects everything simultaneously, instantly, about who you are, where you've been, your internet searches, where you've worked at, your where you were born, your conversations, your emails. Technology can even do facial scans. They're using technology, this AI, to do interviews. And they can even, for companies, so it can tell if you're lying, if you're sick, da, 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 all types of things they can get just from your looking at you, your body temperature. That's why they're hooking up some of these things. You're hearing that now, now that we have this pandemic, that there are these scans and stuff with this technology. So just think of what they've already been doing and what they already had the technology. So what they've been doing probably illegally, to a lot of people. And I'm pretty sure the CIA and all them, they've used it, been using this technology. This technology just didn't just come about. I don't care what story you pull, what article you pull, or whatever. This didn't just this technology was just not created just right now. This has been some type of black project that someone, or somewhere, or some entity somewhere has been funding, and working on. There's a patent on somewhere, and they've been implementing. So just think of that. So just think of, if they're doing this for interviews, they can do like all of that, read all of that. So everything will be, you can't do anything. Your refrigerator will tell on you. Your refrigerator will know if you're out of food, out of this, out of that. If you had enough fiber, if because of what you're eating from out of the refrigerator. You have the door, with the door cams and your front door, everything. I'm just trying to get you to picture, like, everything's going to be connected, and it's not something that you're going to, oh, it's a machine, it could be destroyed. No, 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 because the brain will be out outside of, um in space where you can't get to it. At least not you and I. So no rebel forces, like in Terminator, they won't be able to get to it. Okay. Um, you can't send something up to hit it or something, because it can also do an EMP blast from, it can do an EMP, um, some type of, just with my very limited knowledge, I mean, if something, they see something's coming up towards it, can just, do an EMP burst, and it's done. It's going falling right back down. And plus it takes so much velocity to get out of the atmosphere and things like that. So I don't even know if it can do that. I do know, like, at the upper kind of atmosphere, do kind of go and come up. They do come up, and at the top layer, and come down. But I don't think, if it's orbit, I don't think it goes that far out, or without some more propulsion to it. But like I said, who you and I, where are we gonna get one of those from to go and destroy it? So, and if you could break, also want to go and break it down like this, as far as, I don't think a lot of people taking it seriously, or look at AI as just something that's underneath us, but really it's going to be over us. We've got knocked down. We're not going to be at the top of the food chain for very much longer on this planet. Um, just think of the fact that we are all energy, and energy is manifesting and animating this carbon life form, or whatever we're made of, right? This fleshly life form. Well, you can take that same energy to animate a mechanical life form, like, you know, so it's energy. They're putting it in it, just why they're going to end up, it's all a fault. I mean, if you want to get into like biblical scripture and people's takes on, certain stuff, in all essence, AI is the Antichrist, and they're going to make a false heaven, which would mean, what they're talking about, when you die, you can be, uploaded, your essence could be uploaded to the cloud, and a compilation of everything that you've ever done, because you're basically have another you. With all the information that they're taking, they can make another you that will live on and exist long after you die. Okay. So then, so that's kind of goes into the Antichrist thing, I think, personally, in the false heaven. You know what I mean? There's a show on Amazon called Upload, and I was like, okay. And it's a show about people are, getting having the ability to be uploaded to a program, a software program, once they die, their likeness. And this particular one was very posh and everything like that, but it probably in some of the scenes alluded to, there probably were another one that wasn't so swanky. What's the other? It's another show on Netflix, something carbon. That show where their energy can be re-downloaded into another body's sleeve. They call them sleeves. You can do prison sentence in your mind. Like you can do 30 years in, probably 10 days mentally. They could take your mind and put you under that state. So I want to say Minority Report kind of did something similar to that too as well. So just think about the things that it's getting real serious. They're even talking about in TED Talks again, where what if your thoughts are not your thoughts? Because they can do that too. They can read, they know what you think, because energy is your thoughts aren't just inside your head. You know what I mean? It's like all of that stuff is energy. You know what I mean? So it moves about. I can't even articulate that real good, but so they can read all that. So now they're getting into, we haven't even gotten a handle on internet and the regulations or regulatory stuff, and things like that with the internet of things. Now they're moving towards saying, okay, what can we do with your thoughts? Is your thoughts your own? Go listen to these TED Talks. Is your thoughts really are your own? And this is lady, basically her talking points is to pretty much say no, you know, it's not your right. You know what I mean? So there are going to have to be laws put in place about people, the mind, your thoughts, and just think, you think that, because I'm for this team or team red or team blue or this or that and the third, that somebody's going to be for you, and it's an illusion. No, because it's about power. It's about oligarchies and power and control at the end of the day. And if you've seen, some of them have flip flopped, so it ain't really about that. It's not. And they're gonna play a good game because they talk a good game, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, your rights and your rights are rights," but in the end, it's still gonna happen. It's just like good cop, bad cop, and y'all still get caught up in the fray of that. And it's like, but no, um yeah, man. I've said in many videos, jobs are going away, and they're going to have some UBI. Things are going to look a lot different. I really think that this event was a dry run, and also a uh, something that they could mask what some things that they needed to do. Let's put it like that. There's some laws, some more privacy laws that have, some more privacy that we've lost. We're moving to a situation where it will put slavery to shame. Bondage, bondage, slavery of the mind. You can't have freedom of thought. Think of some of these movies, Gattaca, Equilibrium, uh, Neon Flux. You know what I'm saying? Like, where if you think a certain way, if you even have that in China. You have that certain things in China. Some like, yeah, China and North Korea. Like, you know, uh, where you think a certain way, you get punished. If you're, control man. This is why mankind was to never be in control like they are, because we as a species are not evolved enough to handle power over dominion over others and rule. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Not in the beginning. And I don't know what happened, but I don't know, theories out there. But personally, I just this none of this is supposed to be like this. The world and how we have to live, and we have to buy, we have to, work and do things in order to have food and shelter. It wasn't supposed to be like that. I don't think it was supposed to be like this, where we have to do things in order to do our basic, what should be our basic right is to food and shelter and water. And we don't even think, we can't, a lot of us can't even think past that and be like, what do you mean? Like none of this is right. None of this is right. And it's just going to get worse. And because they have allowed, we as a people have allowed ourselves to be controlled. You talking about sheeple, the real sheeple is everybody's a sheeple if that's the case, because you allowed yourself to be put in this camp, team red, team blue. And even before that, the whole dynamic of the creation of a race, white race and black race, all of that was, the doings of some very powerful societies and dioceses, okay, in its day, that still reign and still in the shadows making moves. And yeah, okay, so it's all it's all we should have we've allowed them to, not just us as an African Americans, but as white folks too, allow them to play us, pit us against each other, um, long enough to where, and this is for 400 years, but to get to where they can get to where now they're almost done, and so now they're fin to revamp slavery, because right now you know, we're a slave for the dollar. You dig what I mean? Like the dollar and food, we're slave, in that respect. With the fiat currency, we're slaves to the IMF and the World Banks and things like that. In that respect, you dig what I'm saying? And now we're going to be a slave to machines, to an AI, and nothing will be free. We won't be free to think. I mean, 40% of the jobs are going away. With anything, black folks are at the bottom of it. As far, even with this now, look at this. It affects us the most, either with the health thing itself or the job losses. They're saying like a lot of the jobs that have been lost are minorities and African American people. You see what I'm saying? Like, and you have a lot of us out here like, oh, you gonna let this stop you? I'm like, you don't get the bigger picture, do you? And people like, oh, it's not gonna, we're already at the bottom. Yeah, but it can get worse, sweetheart. It will get worse. Matter of fact, it's going to get worse. Just horribly worse. So don't take this, this whole, AI thing, like it's like, oh yeah, it's something like you're superior to it because you're not. Or it can be destroyed by you. It won't. And if some people go to the Bible like, oh, God's not gonna, actually, if you want to go there, it's kind of, that has to happen before all that. So yeah, you got to go through. That's, I don't understand, like it's a lot of bad things in the Bible that we're supposed to go through, even forget. That was like, oh, like, oh, just Jesus. No, Jesus didn't come in, and no, that's at the end. There's a lot of stuff you missing where it's going to be a lot of tribulation, so to speak, or a lot of things that's going to go down, and that's part of it. Like you can't. It's going to happen. There's a lot of bad things that are going to happen, and even in an interim right now, we have, there is the raw spelled backwards brewing, because you can't have these things that are happening. You have economy like loss and like money's lost. We have products and things that we're low on, and we have an issue with the country that was supplying like 80% of our medicines and probably 70% of our products, from electronics to clothes. Look on your clothes. Start looking on all. Just go and start looking on every item that you have in your house, like different things. Look at the, like, where is it made at? I mean, from your pots and pans, your cups, your decorative items, your furniture, your clothing. So, and raw spelled backwards is something that is a lucrative thing. It actually it creates money for the ones that need it, that the ones that want it to happen. You know, everyone has. Everyone that they've had has. It's been those people, those and those companies like that company with the H when we went over, you know, like kind of sounds like that one fish, you know, like it kind of sounds like halibut. You know, they made a lot of money back then, 20 years ago on that fake stuff when they lied and things like that. So again, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. They lie, and regardless, you can't go by, oh well, this, the news person or this person in a lab coat or this person that's supposed to be official or politician, this and that and the third, or sit on this seat, or this judge said this and this, or this scientist said. You can't even believe that because they've lied. There's incidents in our recent history that they've flat out lied about, and it has come out already, and they just kind of, it was a blip and then it went away. Oh, there wasn't, and oh no, it really wasn't, and there really wasn't, WMDs there, and we kind of lied about that, and we actually coerced the people on the committee that went over there to go look to say that it was, except for one, and that person that did not say that. We ended up blackmailing him and trying to charge him with espionage, which was false, but it was a payback for not doing what they're being told to do. There's a world within a world. Okay. So you just cannot go with the official narrative all the time, especially when it just doesn't make sense. Like when they're, like a plane that kaputs and there's no debris. Okay. But yeah, I said I was I'm getting on 30 minutes. So no, that's all I want to say. Just there was so much that I wanted to go over with regards to this. Y'all just have no idea how involved in Neom. Go look up Neom and Estonia. Estonia is a E country. Neom is a city where it's going to be pretty much a tech city, whereas everything's is integrated with technology. Everything. You won't be able to do nothing, say nothing. That is coming. And like I said, it's going to be to where even your thoughts won't be you can't even think, like they won't be your own, job interviews. You're going to be, it's going to be a robot with the camera, and it's going to analyze everything. So you can't be like, fake it to make it, or lie, or put 100 on 10 a little bit, or be nervous. They pick up on all that. If sickly, if you're going to figure out if you're capable of actually doing the work physically, all that stuff, sickly, all that. I remember in Gattaca, which is an old movie like 20 years ago, something like that came out, and they had, which is also coming too, they had humans, which we're starting that too with the CRISPR thing, where they had human, tampering with the DNA of humans. And so you had natural born humans, and then you had these other humans, because they've either been altered to have no type of ailments, like diabetes, none of that, or they have like extra digits, or to run fast, or da 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 da. And those are the people that actually were the dominant society. And then people who are naturally born naturally with none of that were pretty much treated like the blacks. Okay. And had low service jobs, and all of that stuff. So it's yeah. Anyway, don't take this lightly. It's not something that is going to go away. It's not something that, oh yeah, it's not, whatever. Like, it's a machine. Like, okay, keep thinking that. That you're superior to it, because that's not actually true. That's not true. Okay, I'll move my. That's not true. You're not. And it's going to be hell like no other. And like I said before, I kind of wish I didn't even have any kids, because of what's coming, because I don't want them to have to be living that reality, because that they're definitely going to be just I'll catch the tail end of it, or the not tail end, but the beginning of it, the beginning throes of that. But our kids and the little ones, the little babies, that's what they. It's going to be crazy. But the thing about it is, they won't see it. It won't look. It will be normal to them. Just like in the movies, you like how people just cool with like not being able to say stuff like in Gattaca and all that, and you take your medicine to kind of suppress your thoughts and all that. Like how are people going to be cool with it? Because they're going to be because they always anything that they want society, however they want society to move, they go to the children first and they implant that stuff in the children. So they feed that stuff to the children because they're the ones when it again it takes I always say this they don't a lot of times it's compartmentalized or it's plans that it takes decades or for them to and it comes in phases and things like that where they want their goal is it's not like boom in your face. It's very subtle and it's a build up and it started in the kids. So then by the time they get 20, that's a 2 decades, it's normal. All this is normal. It's like now a 14-year-old dressing like a grown woman is normal now. Long weaves and stuff like that at 14. That's normal. As to when I was 14, that wasn't normal. That was a girl that was probably being touched on, or mama was not there. But you have very involved people that are letting their children, their 14-year-olds, dress like grown women. You see what I'm saying? And you know, this whole notion of kids having a choice and all this stuff. They get it in the kids. Don't take it lightly. I'm just trying to tell you, it's a real thing. It's something that you should be very much concerned about. Look up Neom, look up Estonia, the Jaegers. If you want to know what's coming here, the Jaegers or whatever, start researching into how China's doing those people and what's how they have open air pretty much. They live in an open air prison. The things that they make them do, that's coming here, especially for African American people. Like you concerned. I mean, we a lot of us are too stuck on the police brutality and racism, but it's a lot more things that are going on that is just as important. Okay, bye.